Hi, I'm Wendell G. Welcome back to the WBL. Today is Monday, July 24th, 2045. I got special guest star, Yankee, in the studio here. How's it going, Yankee?
It's going great.
Going great. Istanbul is going great.
They are. It is a welcome change for us.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be feeling good till the last week of the season when I beat you out for that fourth playoff spot.
Yeah, it's going to be
too late to tank. You know,
yeah,
that's my plan. Keep
well,
your hopes up.
I don't have my first this year anyways, so I can't tank.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Who was it? Cairo Figs was saying he hasn't had a first in like 4 years or something like that.
Yeah, I think I even, in the ping trade, I offered him one, and he would rather take prospects, which, I mean, I understand completely.
I'm here to tell you, I cannot believe you plucked Ping from his hands. Because the last time I talked about getting Ping, the response I got was like, over my cold, dead body. So,
yeah, I mean, he got a good return.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the topic today, but I think it was a fair trade for both sides.
Yeah. No, it's not the topic for today, but man, that was a big surprise for me. That's probably the biggest surprise of the first half of the season for me was that Ping trade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, today we're talking about the All-Star game, the All-Star selections, who was in and who was out, who should have been in, who should have been out.
Yeah.
And let's just, which league do you want to start with there, Yank, North or South?
We'll start with the best league, the North League.
Best league, North League. Okay. You want to take us through the starting pitchers who were selected and maybe some who were not selected?
Yeah, sure. So, going by the list on the website, the first guy is Felix Arteaga from Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
You think he was a good pick?
Yeah, I mean he's been pitching well this year.
I agree, he's pitching well, but I thought he should have been cut.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think he pitched as well as some other guys.
Yeah, I can see that. He's really had his career year this year though. I mean, 128 ERA plus. It's been pretty much like lower hundreds in the past. He had 68 last year. So I don't know. I mean, perhaps deserved just
sort of a career.
From that like comeback. Yeah,
you
know, highlighted his career.
Gotcha.
Right.
Sort of a sentimental pick then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good pitcher. Always been a good pitcher. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Having a career year. Only started 10 games out of 28 appearances. That's weird. I guess he's divided time over at closer.
Yeah, I think so. He's got 12 saves, so.
At 35 stamina.
Yeah, never know with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next guy is Herc Bin Rafiq from my team.
Right. Terrible pick.
I mean, well, I was saying for a while that Dorte was better. He ended up falling off, but I mean, I guess if you're gonna pick a starter from our rotation, he's the one. Maybe Seguin.
Okay.
Like Seguin's probably pitching better, but I don't know. Bin Rafiq has that star power, so I don't know if any of my pitchers should have been in the All-Star game. Honestly, they're all like just there. They're good arms, but not necessarily.
Yeah, Istanbul doesn't make its living off of pitching.
Right.
I mean, it's not that you have bad pitching, but your strength is the hitting.
Absolutely.
So Hercules has had a really good year, 13-3 record. There's only 3 13-game winners so far this year. Now, as of this date, not as of the stats that I'm talking about now are going to be as of today, late July, and not not the All-Star break, but. Yeah, so as of today, there are 3 pitchers with 13 wins, and Hercules is one of them. And and I can't find my Donald Mason with Buffalo is number 2, and Okada is the third one. So that's some big company right there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally value wins that high, but it definitely is. It's a factor in some way. Whether remains to be seen how big of a factor it is, but
okay. Who's next on the list?
That would be Corbishley from Amsterdam. And I know when he was having his fire sale, he pulled back Corbishley from that really quick because he was doing really well.
As I recall,
and
he had like a 15 strikeout game or something like that.
Yeah. At the moment, he is on his AAA team.
Yeah, why is that?
I think maybe it's a... Well, no, it's not a rehab because his last injury was in June. I don't know.
June 30th? Maybe he's been in... Yeah, I don't know.
He might just... the current thing says rehab, so I think OU's just playing it really safe, which, a guy like that might as well.
Sure. Oh, sure, and with Amsterdam cruising now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He doesn't need him until the playoffs. He could leave him down there in AAA forever.
Right.
But yeah, he's having a great year. 207 ERA plus is really, really good.
Incredible.
I mean, he's got Kasib numbers basically in the time he has pitched in the WBL.
In the North League.
Right.
In the North League. 107 innings pitched already.
Yeah.
Man. 16 starts. He's 10-2 in 16 starts.
Yeah.
So he's got 12 decisions in 16 starts. That basically means he's getting deep into the games.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. 2.87 FIP.
Yeah.
Dang.
He throws 100. Sets the catcher's glove on fire.
Sets it on fire. Knocks it off, man.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was definitely a good pick.
Good pick.
The next guy is Sasha Nazvanov from Helsingborg.
The Nas.
Yeah, and he's been bouncing around teams and kind of struggling in the past. And this year, he's coming to his own, in a gigantic way.
Think he finally dialed it in this year?
I think so. Well, I mean, he had a good year last year too, but I didn't really believe it because you look at his previous years and he was just not he had 90 and 89 ERA plus at False Bay, which isn't terrible, but it was he had he still had low stamina, and I don't know. I didn't think he was ever going to make it.
Oh, I see.
Which is why I traded him personally, a while back for a first or something.
So he used to be on your staff.
He used to be in my farm system, and I traded him for a first, and then JD got a hold of him. But yeah, now, I mean,
nice.
The past 2 years, mid-2 ERA between those two seasons, so he's definitely legit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean...
his last game, I was just highlighting it on screen. He went a complete game, 9 innings, gave up 7 hits, struck out 9, walked none. Fantastic.
Yeah, and he actually got the starting job for this game too. If you look at the box score, so I mean, maybe I would have given it to Corbishley, but can't go too wrong with him.
You mean for the All-Star game?
Yeah, for the actual starting pitching job.
Nice. Who won the game, by the way?
It was North League. It was a stomp, 10-1.
Of course.
Yeah.
What did we expect?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So now that our South League viewers have turned us off, so who's next on the list?
All right, it is Toshiki Okada.
Oh my goodness!
Of course, he just moved this year too, from Amsterdam, but Trucker's still as good as he was the past 4 years of Amsterdam.
Nice.
He has split stats because he got traded mid-season, but
right.
I mean, between the two, he's had a really great season and he had a good season last year. He's one of the best, maybe top 5 pitchers in the league. So
I agree.
That's no surprise that he got picked, I think.
Right. Good pick.
Yeah.
All right, let's hurry this up. Let's see. All right. Who's next on the list here?
Jose Romero from Vegas, and actually it was 3 from Vegas: Romero, Torres, and Wong. Good. And I mean, all 3 are really good. Vegas has a really good staff. Just with those 3 and with the other stick, I have a big stick, he has a big stick too, or whatever. But he's got a really good staff. I mean, so to cherry pick 3 pitchers from any staff in the North League, this would be the one to do it for the All-Star game. I mean, all of them are really good. I think they're all pretty good picks.
I agree. Vegas has got a really well-balanced team this year. Their pitching is dominant.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's really assembled a good staff. Torres is one of my top 3, basically, in the league. Who? Anybody you felt got snubbed in the North League in terms of starting pitching? I think I didn't really hear you say that none of these guys. I didn't hear you say somebody on this list really didn't deserve the pick.
Yeah, I think the only one. I think the only guy that got snubbed would be Carlos Goodwin was sold.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 2.66 ERA in 125 innings so far. So he's pitching like under the radar amazing.
Okay.
And I mean, maybe, plug him in for one of these higher ERA guys, even Hercules on my team, or I don't know, someone like that. I think Goodwin deserved to go.
Okay.
But
I do too. I had Rock Mobster at the number 1 of my snub list.
yeah.
He is number 4 in the WBL. He is the number 4 WAR pitcher. Rock Mobster of Amsterdam, and he got it slighted.
Yeah.
Right behind him at number 5 in North League. Sorry, Rock Mobster is number 4 in NL North League WAR. Number 5 in North League WAR is Nico. And Nico hasn't put up the greatest win-loss numbers this year. In fact, he's finally come back at 500. He's 8-8, I think, now. But he's pitching like a boss this year, looking for that contract.
Yeah.
And Goodwin, this guy out of Berlin, Jan Bouland, he's pitched well.
Yeah.
And then Pedro Rat Ramirez also. I thought all 5 of those could have easily been listed, and I wouldn't have had a problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, give Berlin a guy in the All-Star game, man. It's all good fun. Even if he doesn't have, that lights-out guy this year.
Oh, Berlin, man. I don't know. Yeah. Berlin really has not. We were talking about that. They really haven't had that. Any guy really stand out on the squad this year. All right. Well, let's talk about relief pitching. I'll take us through that list in the North League. First on the list is another Vegas guy, Izo Kitamura, and I got no problem with this, man. Dude's rocking 23 saves, 2.90 ERA and a 1.14. Man, 40-17 strikeout to walk ratio. Only giving up 2 home runs in 41 appearances.
Yeah.
This guy. The only question I have about Kitamura is I'm really not sure where he came from.
Doe just. Well, I mean, he's an Amsterdam product, but Doe just acquires these amazing bullpen guys out of nowhere. I don't really know how he does it, but I don't know.
Came in on the Seguin trade. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa. What? I just lost my list. All right, Kitamura. No problem with Kitamura.
Yeah.
Next on the list is Luis Chavez of Moscow. Chavez came to me in the Mason trade, and I just moved him into the bullpen, tried him out a few times, started him in a game, and he's fit right in for us at closer.
Yeah.
He's doing well. In fact, he's doing very much what I envisioned. If Mason got to the point that his stamina got shaky, I was going to move him to closer. So Chavez is filling that role for us. Next on the list is Gael Jabiri. How do you say his name? You're the GM.
I say Gale.
Gale.
I guess either way it works.
You know that's the old word for jail. That's the old Anglo-Saxon word for jail. So he's a jailbird. Jailbird Fang Jabiri. Jailbird Jabiri.
Yeah.
So old Jailbird has had a good year. 23 saves.
Yeah.
Strong. 2.88 ERA and 40 appearances.
Yeah, he's been doing good. I think he might have had a couple blown saves this year. Maybe I'll look that up real quick. He's got 3. I guess that's not that bad.
3 blown saves out of against 23 save. Wow.
Yeah, out of 26. So I guess that's not bad. He had like 2 to start the year. And I was like questioning keeping him at closer, but I think he sorted himself out.
Nice.
I still wish he became a starting pitcher, but just with that stamina, it was never going to work. It was a pipe dream.
30 stamina.
Yeah.
Do pitchers ever improve their stamina?
It's pretty rare. I think.
Yeah. I can't think of a time. Of course, I can't think of much of anything when the mic is on. So fourth and last in the list of bullpen guys in the North League is Carpet Muncher. So he's a perennial all-star, and this year's no exception. Another 0.78 whip and 1 point. Just another ho-hum year for Carpet Muncher.
Yeah, he's just
26 saves, 44 games. Man.
Yeah, I think he reads the newspaper while he's out there on the mound. It's just too easy for him.
I know it, right? I know it. This is like Little League for him. He's like, when do I get some competition? So I don't know. I think Carpet Bomber needs to go to starting pitcher into the rotation. That's what I think needs to happen.
That would be interesting, actually. I mean, he's got the numbers for it.
He
absolutely.
Does.
So maybe
he'd be a fine starting pitcher.
Yeah.
John Smoltz. Well, actually, Smoltz went from starting to closer, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we've got catchers from the North League. So take us through our catchers here.
All right. Well, catcher number 1. Let me see who ended up getting this start. It was Rojas. So both of them are Istanbul guys. They were old. They were both fought in the farm system. Rojas ended up getting traded, so Emerica won that little battle technically. But Rojas has been having a great year. I mean, I traded him away. I'm fine with the return I got, but he is still really, really, really good. He's actually having a down year compared to his past 2 years.
Wow.
But 2.1 WAR still.
Yeah.
You know, so catchers like that don't come around too often.
I hear you.
That are great at both offense and defense.
I like I call him Marika.
Yeah.
I swear, wasn't he at one time Marika? Wasn't he a Cairo product?
No, I drafted him like first round and I've had him.
Okay. Always been an Istanbul product. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, man, my boy got snubbed. This is probably the one thing that really makes me a little bit upset about the selections. Payway outplayed Rojas this year. Payway hit 290/365/498 with 13 home runs and 48 RBI.
Yeah.
And defensively, he's one of the league leaders in catcher ERA, and he's maybe the thing that got him this year. Rojas, of course, is a positive zone rating guy, and for whatever reason, Payway has lost some of his defensive ability this year. But that was the one thing where I got to go all homeboy and say I think Payway should have got it over Rojas. But
yeah, I think I agree actually. He should have been in over one of them. He's got the better WAR than both. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, he's young. He'll have other All-Star games. The other two are young as well. So it's gonna be a 3-way battle for those 2 spots each year, I think.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, Payway, man. Every time I look at him, my eyes just light up because it's like every month or two my scout increases his potentials. So I'm like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know what? I forgot something. We were talking about the relievers. There was a couple of guys who I felt got snubbed in the bullpen this year and who could easily have gotten picked. I didn't have a problem with any of those 4 who got the call, but 2 of them who didn't are both Vegas products, Eric Sutton and Cliff Jackson. And I just wanted to shout them out because they are having fantastic years.
Yeah, they are. Cliff Jackson especially. He's so young, but he's a rookie actually, so he's going to be good. I think he's a starter, but I think Doe already has enough starting pitching at the moment. So
you think? You think?
Yeah, I think he does.
Okay. All right. Well, moving through the infielders here. The list comprised first baseman Frederick Carrier and Mason Fazakerly, and I got no problem with either one of those. Of course, Carrier along with Noda are Soul's great cornerstones of their organization. Yeah. And they're both listed here. Carl Aguirre got the nod at second base along with Ricardo Alonso. Hugo Yazicki at third base from Moscow. Noda from Seoul at short, and Zwagger of Amsterdam at short. You know, of that list, the only one I thought Carl Aguirre was okay, but I didn't think Juan Padilla should have gotten the pick from Helsingborg because Padilla has he has. I started to say he's out hit Aguirre, but he hasn't. He hasn't put up these kind of numbers, but his WAR rating is higher. You know, his defense is better than Aguirre.
Yeah, Aguirre is he's like a first. He's a like a first or third baseman playing second right now.
Right.
I mean, that's how I run things. But I don't know. Padilla probably should have been in as well. He's been having a great year.
I thought Padilla is having a great year. Padilla, he's just having a fantastic year. Seems like I wanted to say something else about him, but I'd have no problem. I mean, I thought Aguirre, is that how you say it? Aguirre,
yeah.
Okay. I thought he was an okay pick. I don't have a huge problem with it, but I just thought Padilla should have gotten a nod and did not. Okay, well, take us through. Let me think before I move on from these guys. Of course, the first base guys are typically your tater hitters, and both Carrier and Fazackerly have 51 RBI already. Ricardo Alonso rocking 63 RBI, and Hugo Yuzicki 50 RBI.
Yeah,
that's freaking amazing. Those guys are just knocking some runs in.
Yeah, they're putting points on the board.
Yeah, they are. This North League is ridiculous.
There's guys that we're probably sitting here and everyone's like, you completely forgot this guy.
I know, right?
That snub, and they're just so good, and we have no idea.
I know. It's just
I don't know.
The talent is crazy.
It really is.
Take us through the outfield.
All right. So first is Jesse Haswell, who has been playing great for my team, both offensively and defensively. Ben Jihad, he is like secretly one of the best center fielders in the league on Amsterdam. He just is another name in the crowd, but he's always really good. Well, so last year he had a 6.4 WAR in a full season. Right now he's up to 6.9 in about 3/4 of a season.
Wow.
So he's just getting better and better.
Wow.
Like, he's only 26. I don't know what is he gonna do when he's 28? 12 WAR, 14 WAR. Like he's really, really good. But two more guys from Istanbul: Sal, who is my amazing defensive and offensive center fielder; Harry Milburn, who came over from Cairo at the beginning of the year. He's also been hitting great. And then Mikeshi from Las Vegas. He's always up there in the top outfielders.
Right. I know Doe had an apoplectic fit when Mikeshi got injured, but it was just a few-week injury.
Yeah. Jaime Robles from Moscow, and then Moscow's lost son, Dominique Garnett.
Oh, Dominique
is the last guy on the list.
Dominique.
Yeah,
Suck it, Dominique.
So this feels like it feels like it covers most of the teams, like most of the good outfielders. I'm trying to see if anyone big was snubbed.
There was one name that I came up with, and that was for Vegas, Jaime Juarez. That's had a fantastic year.
Yeah, I don't know. That might have been because he was playing. Well, I guess he didn't play that many games, but he started the year with Cairo, so maybe that had something to do with it. But I wanted to get him. Well, I was part of that trade. That was the three-way trade that sent me Milburn. But yeah, he's been hitting and defending well.
He's a 3.0 WAR total so far this year. But that's the one. I guess you could call it a snub, but with this crew, I mean, good night.
So, it's really, really good.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, while you're looking there, Garnett, he is hitting today, he's hitting at a 343 clip. And I know that Helga's Park rewards left-handed batters. It's a 1.08 ballpark factor for left-hand batting average. And if you take Garnett's number from last year at Moscow, 3.02, which we're pretty neutral, right and left. I think we're pretty close to 100% right and left. If you multiply that 3.02 at that 302 batting average by 1.08, you come up with a 326 expectation at Helga, and he's actually hitting 343.
Yeah.
So I think he's hitting above. I think he's hitting above his normal, capability. But you know what? It's just, he is having a great year. Yeah. I'm still pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's something. He might give Helsingborg that title they need. But
yeah. He might be
maybe
the missing piece.
If they even make the playoffs,
if they even make
with how
they've been on an amazing win streak. What, 11 games in a row or something like that?
Yeah, it's at least 10.
They've been very streaky this year, up and down. So, Seoul, Seoul's kind of lurking back there and just waiting for Helsingborg to just fall. And, they'll be ready.
Yeah.
So, surprises out of the North League for you this year. Do you have anything beyond the players we've talked about, or?
I think overall, I don't know. Things are kind of going as planned for the most part. Seoul's a little worse than usual, but they still have really, really good players, and that was kind of reflected in the All-Star lineup. Like Noda and Carrier are so good; they definitely should be there.
Right.
Goodwin should have been on the team, so I think Seoul will come back because of that, because they have a lot of good players.
So you'd
Dublin
say
has a really good outfield.
You'd say Seoul is underperforming a little bit then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Dublin has like a secretly really good outfield. They're all like over 100 OPS plus, and like I think they're each over 1 WAR or something like that. So they have a chance. Actually, I think one of their guys just got hurt, but they have a chance to make a run. Berlin and Lisbon are still tanking, but there's some flashes of brilliance there. Luis Franco on Berlin especially is actually doing really well.
Yeah, I was going to mention him. He's one of the surprises for me this year. And, I had a chance to pick him up, and I turned it down because my scout's just not high on this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm about ready to fire my scout because he totally missed the boat on Franco. So,
yeah.
The commish was coming at me like, dog, you need this guy. You need this guy, dog. And I was like, no, man, I don't need this guy. And, I thought the commish was trying to pull one over on me, but he wasn't. He was right. So,
yeah.
Well, I got a couple of guys I want to shout out. One is my arch nemesis. You know him, you hate him. Yassine Ben Jamil.
Yeah.
The dude, the son of a biscuit. He is hitting at a 1.6 WAR clip this year.
Yeah.
Now, his batting average is only 237, but a guy like this, you don't get him for his batting average. You get him for his OBP, which is 337. His slugging is he's knocked 11 home runs this year,
which is crazy.
Crazy
on 61 games, to only 255 PAs.
And screw you, Ben Jamil. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
I mean, what the hell, man?
He likes the air on the Mediterranean, I guess. Not even on the Mediterranean. It's on the Atlantic. But
well, I mean, who wouldn't want to be in Lisbon? I know.
But warm air is causing him to hit more homers, I guess.
I guess so. Maybe it's the heavy air in Moscow.
Yeah,
that's exactly what's going on. It's the heavy, cold air. It kind of weighs on everything. But the dude couldn't even get on base. I mean, he had 298. He got on base at 298 in Moscow. So I wanted to shout out that he's having a good year.
Yeah.
And I guess I wanted to rage on him a little bit. But also, I wanted to mention that a record was just broken, an old National League record. My center fielder, Jose Gonzalez, wrapped 3 triples in one game to break the single-game triples record in the WBL.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that, 3 triples in one game. That's crazy.
That's a lot of running.
That's a lot of running. That's right. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Any other thoughts on the North League before I bring this segment to a close?
Nah, pretty much the summary is it's loaded with talent.
Talent, man.
Yeah, it's just everyone was snubbed pretty much.
North League, best league?
Absolutely.
All right. That's going to do it for the North League. We'll be right back.